people generalize martial arts. Can you please tell us some of the differences between all the martial arts?
Yeah, you spell them differently. So, there are, obviously number one difference of any martial arts is country of origin. Where did it originate from? Martial arts has, in the past, martial arts' number one goal is to defend oneself. In history, if you didn't know how to defend yourself, it could mean life or death. So that's the number one goal of any martial arts. So that's why every region in the world has some sort of martial arts. Now you have different martial arts such as kickboxing is from Southeast Asia. As I mentioned before, Kung Fu is from China. Karate, different schools of karate are from Japan. You see Jiu-Jitsu is from Japan, as well as you have Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. You have Judo, which was a Japanese sport, is a martial arts. You have different kind of martial arts from Europe, and of course Taekwondo is from Korea. So number one is country of origin, but my belief is that martial arts, they all have the same goal in mind, to defend oneself.
How has Taekwondo influenced the regions it has spread to?
So how Taekwondo has impacted other cultures in other countries around by people who practice them. One way is it first introduces Korean culture to a lot of different communities, from the US alone to a lot of European countries, even Middle Eastern countries, and also Korean culture to other Asian countries. The way it's influenced a lot of different cultures is actually one basis is the Olympics. A lot of Olympic movements through Taekwondo competition. You have a lot of people training through a lot of Korean masters, a lot of Korean masters teaching other masters. And by that, you have a lot of, like for example, Iraqi Americans training together at the Olympic centers, things like that, where they're actually able to train together without conflict, surpassing the politics of it all. You have a lot of, for example, animosity between Japanese and Korean communities, where when they practice Taekwondo, they come together, and so a lot of good teamwork working on, just like in class time. A lot of different cultures, same thing, Taekwondo is the same way. But the spread of Taekwondo throughout, especially in the United States mostly, a lot of Korean masters immigrated over to the US, started teaching Taekwondo, it started becoming popular after it was certified as an Olympic event in I think 2000 Olympics, but also demonstration during the 92 Olympics. It gave a lot of people an insight into Korean communities, a lot of Korean cultures. Taekwondo schools in general, a lot of times you have the traditional, barbecues at the end of the year, summertime, where you got introduced to a lot of Korean food. A lot of Korean language is used during Taekwondo classes from Korea, to calling a master sabanim, or even learning thank you or goodbye. So a lot of language influence was also there. But the other thing is that Taekwondo is more, I guess, more recently popularized, especially in a lot of breakdance forms. A lot of Korean kids who do Taekwondo, they learn the kicks, they learn a lot of breakdancing, and that's very popular in Korea right now. There are a lot of popular Korean music, so it helps out with the younger generation rather than the older.
Could you please explain the differences between ITF and WTF?
The difference between World Taekwondo Federation, WTF, and the difference between International Taekwondo Federation, the ITF, is mostly political. You see a lot of similarities in the techniques they use. A lot of the striking techniques, the defense techniques are very similar. However, WTF, the World Taekwondo Federation, was based in Seoul, Korea, South Korea, as the ITF was created by, I guess you would say, defectors to the north, to North Korea, so that you see it's a politically influenced, so that Taekwondo does have its divisions, which is unfortunate, but as Korea became a divided nation, also Taekwondo became divided. So you see a lot of similar techniques, however, this political influences create this division within Taekwondo.
Round one, 시작! 자요! 가요! 결승! 가요! 점! 캡처! 결승!
you think Taekwondo will continue to spread and grow?
I believe it will grow. I mean, it's participated in over 180 countries now. It could be more. I don't know now. That was back in the early 90s. But Taekwondo is such a global sport, martial arts. It's something that anyone can do. It's very aerobic. It helps with physical health as well as mental health, flexibility, agility. It's something that you can do at young or old.
How has Taekwondo influenced you? Why do you like it?
It's influenced my life in that I'm not so much afraid to get up in front of groups of people and stuff like that. I have more confidence in myself.
I like Taekwondo because of the discipline and how you learn self-defense. It's really fun.
I like Taekwondo because they have awesome, colorful belts.
I like Taekwondo because it teaches discipline and different techniques.
What does Taekwondo teach besides self-defense?
Taekwondo students must be truthful at all times.
Taekwondo students will be kind to their brothers, sisters, and friends at all times. All Taekwondo students must respect teachers and peers at all times. All Taekwondo students must respect their parents and family members at all times.
This is Trisha Takanawa, Asian reporter, with breaking news. Recently, an Iraqi Taekwondo team has been found. They were abducted while driving to a training camp in Anbar. They have also kidnapped the president of Taekwondo and Boxing Federation in a sports conference in the heart of Baghdad.
Spread out Korean culture.
Join Taekwondo.
All Taekwondo students must respect their parents and
You? Win. I said win. Thank you.
Wrong, that is not how you play life. This is.